Good morning, today 83, Monday morning, bank holiday I think in England. Not here. What are we? Just gone 7:45. Not a lot of people on site. Well, I say not a lot of people. There are people on site today, but not as many as normal. Site manager's a little bit late, so they're waiting for the container to open. Haven't managed to sit down and meet with them yet to find out what's going on, so I will do that in a minute. Obviously no change since yesterday with regards to what's taken place. Footings for this main build done. I would assume, never assume, I would assume that they're going to be getting this marl into the swimming pool today because they need to get that out. And once they've done the swimming pool area here, once they've got all of that marl over that wall there into the back, then they can start dealing with this floor here, the footings here, and close this up. But they can't close this footing over to this footing until obviously they've dealt with the pool area and got what they need in there, excavation wise or wheelbarrow wise, whatever they're going to do. So that's the reason why they've stopped the footings where it is at the moment. This one here obviously is the same thing. That's been ceased just there for now, but again that will come to the edge, and then from this wall here will come all the way along, and then this wall will be a 16-inch wall that will go all the way to the very top, because that's going to be the overhang and it will run straight through. So that's, I would have thought, what they're going to be doing today. They need to sort out and finish off the boxing for the beams above, and then all of the supports to hold the boxing in, because when you pour that concrete, there's a large tonnage of weight going up against that. And I've got to try and sit down with the site manager to try and discuss the air conditioning solution. We've had prices in and they're astronomical, but they do say that to a certain extent a decent build should be, the air conditioning should be between 4 and 7% of the build cost, really. I was just hoping to try and get it lower than that. There's a few things I've got to sort out, little things like this. Not too sure why they've done that. And obviously they've got to pour all the actual columns. Again, I spoke to the owner at the weekend. All of the actual holes up here within the wall that weren't poured, he's not too sure why they weren't, but he did say that they should be able to pour those at the same time as doing the actual floor and beams. So, but obviously they're going to use a pump for that, so that's going to be quite out of control. So I don't know how they can actually get that to go down. They normally bucket it by hand, which is quite a monstrous task. Just seeing light on the floor over there. I was thinking, I thought it was actually I don't know if you can see it on here. Just there. Where am I? There. I thought it was a hole in the wall, but it's actually light shining through from above. What else? They've still got to box up this corner, obviously. They can't pour the floor until they box that corner up. But that corner is off the back of doing the overhang and the footing, so that's a bit of a catch-22 for them. And as I showed you yesterday, which I'll get up there and show you again, get up there and have a good walk around, settle down with everything. Watch all these rebars hanging everywhere. You want to spike yourself. Okay, right, yeah, so I'm up on top. It's a little bit of a nightmare to walk across because obviously it's now suspended off the floor. Spin it round. So to a certain extent, it looks like the whole floor is finished. They've still got some stuff over there, so I assume they're maybe finishing off. But we're pretty much done all the way around. We need more schmocks, depending on where you're German. And obviously they've got to finish the boxing off around, like I said. And then we've got to try and get the access hatches into the floor sorted today. So we've got to work out what we need, how many we need, where they're going to go. The air conditioning system itself, until I firm that up, I'm not going to know the sides and diameters of the floor holes needed. But we're still going to have to put something in. We know roughly where the beds are going to go. You know, there's going to be a bed on that wall there facing this way. That room there, I think if I remember right, it's got a bed going that way. There's actually a bathroom in the middle. So yeah, it's measuring out. It's going to be quite a complicated thing to do. We're going to measure out everything before. So yeah, that'll be the plan for today. And I've got to go home and start working on the air conditioning system and the spec. And from what I'm hearing, the size of the the size and solution I'm looking for the air conditioning. They don't do on the island, so we might have to import one. So at the moment I need to find out how I get that, where I get it from, what it's going to cost, what the import is. So I'm going to have to look at the whole thing. So that's something I'm going to have to do today. So I'll update you on that a bit later on. But also the architect is coming here at 10 o'clock, so we'll discuss what he feels is the best solutions. So I'll check in a bit later on. So one bit of filming I don't normally do is obviously what we do within the office. Today we've got to try and meet with the architects on site and discuss the air conditioning and services basically to the building. So I'll spin around and show you what I mean. So this is some of the older engineering drawings of the basement, and this is some out of date but reasonably up together drawings of the ground floor. As you can see in the ground floor itself, this is technically where the electrical, water services are coming into the plot, which needs to find its way up here. On the side of the garage is where we're going to be housing the condensers for the air conditioning and the gas bottles. Here they don't do gas mains, it's gas bottles, which means we have to have some form of track going through the garage floor to come into the foyer, the main entrance of the building, which has got to go through into the basement. All services will come through there. The electrical will come into the unit here, the water and gas will come through into the kitchen here, and then on each one of the rooms, this being the kitchen for instance, above we'll take air conditioned ducting coming through the kitchen units, they call it an outlet and an inlet. So basically the inlet will be coming in here, the outlet feeding the room will be here. Again, bedrooms, we have a wardrobe here, so the outlet will come out here to feed the room with air, and the inlet will be underneath the bed, as it would be in this bedroom here, with an outlet here, inlet here, outlet here, outlet here, inlet here. Living room, quite a big room, so there'll be 2 outlets and 2 inlets. And obviously in the basement area, you've then got to try and work out obviously where these holes are going to go through the floor, and then where each one of the units will be housed and where the ducting will run. And I'll be going to be using 12-inch circular solid ducting. I'll be using square. This is one thing I've got to try and pin the guys down with. This part here again is the main foyer coming into the house, but we've got to get surfaces from here into here. So this is empty and hollow. This is lower case. This is going to be solid, so we're going to have to put all these surfaces in before this is filled and finished. We also want air conditioning coming back into the garage to keep the garage at a certain temperature as well. So as you can see from this drawing here, it was one setback wall where the gas was going to be. It's now going to be a double wall. One's going to be condensers for the air conditioning and one's going to be for the gas. So we need to discuss all of that today, as well as obviously, like we discussed, roughly whereabouts will the water, gas, sewage, drainage, where will that be coming through? Obviously then you've got bathrooms. This is a bathroom, so again there'll be water coming into here, so where will that be fed underneath? So where will that come in? And also there'll be drainage from the sink and the shower, same vice versa for here. So again, today's just trying to map out where the services are going to be, which is what the architect should normally do, which is what he's going to discuss today. So this is about giving him our ideas. We've also got to get the mains water all the way up through to here. This is going to be the freshwater tank. So that tank will fill with probably 8 to 10,000 gallons of water. So if there's any water outages, then the house still gets filled by this tank. So the water's going to come into this tank first, then it's going to have to feed the rest of the house on a pump. The pump won't necessarily be used when the water mains is on because it's full of pressure, but as soon as the pressure goes off, you'll have to pump that water to everything else. So toilets will probably be connected to the irrigation, and fresh water will obviously be connected to the sinks and everything else. So that's one thing we've got to do today. And also got to get some up-to-date prints. These are quite big obviously, but the little small ones that are up to date are just a little bit too small. So yeah, that's another thing we're doing today. 3, quick site visit. A few things have got to change. I'm here to sort of report those changes, but I thought I'd do an update at the same time. The guys have actually got the mile into a ramp so they can actually pour into the swimming pool. Hey guy, how are you? They've also started blocking around the actual house itself and filling the freshwater tank area with marl, so that'll have to be compressed. This will have to be done as well. The block will come up to height, and this is now sloped so they can actually get right up here when they've got the marl to pour into here, so we can actually start doing the pool levels. So it's looking like we're going to have to run another block wall butted up against this one all the way along here to here, then another one from here all the way along to the other side, so that we can actually stretch the rebar out of this wood here across and pour the actual slab across the storage area here in one with the actual roof. So I'm trying to find the guys on site so I can discuss that with them, because that's quite an urgent amendment we need to make, which would delay the actual roof pour. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Sure he's going there. Some space
Yeah,
over.
what's up there, right?
Right, buddy?
Boy, it's not sweet, boy.
Got your daily check-in? Daily check-in, that? It's become his own little star, isn't it? Tyson the Star. So I'm waiting for Colin, wherever he is. Can't see his cars here. I just can't see him. He's hidden around the other side. But anyway, I did discuss that with him, and Wayne, the governor's en route as well to discuss it. So the downside with the rebar is you can't leave it out in the salt air for too long, because it starts oxidizing, which is the rusting process, and then as soon as you put it into concrete, it already starts rusting. So we are either going to have to bag that all up and have the delay, or find a very quick option around getting around it. So that's what I need to discuss with Colin if I can find him. Okay, end of the day, 4:30. Yeah, the guys try to get quite a bit done today, because we're trying to change the process that we need to get involved in because of an oversight on the overhang here. We're now going to have to do the slab across at the same time as doing the ground floor slab. So we need to now try and get all of the pool area, which I'll show you. So we need to build this up now. As you can see, it's now taking shape. That's got to be taken to height. This footing's got to be taken across. The pool and the sloping that they need to build in the pool's got to be done. The concrete's got to be poured in there, as well as the concrete floor for in here. Then this wall needs to be finished off, and then they can then come across. So they're now aiming for Monday. So lots done. Take you through. Quite a bit done, but now a bit of a delay with the slab. The slab was going to be poured tomorrow, so they're holding off on that now to try and get in here prepared. As you can see, some of it's gone in already. So we need to get the it's sort of a 6 foot up to a 4 foot, 3 foot across, and then a ledge. And again, that's got to be obviously the same height as the wall over there. So it's quite a bit to be built up there. And then all of this wall's got to be poured in concrete inside. This board's got to be taken down. The rebar's got to be taken straight across to this wall once this wall's built up. And then they're looking to pour this floor and above all at the same time. So we don't have a great deal of time to get that done, because also the steel is upstairs in the salt elements, which you don't leave steel here out in the elements. It has a tendency to rust. So we've got to try and get that done sooner rather than later. So that is now a game we're going to be playing this week. The guys are still cracking on with the rebar above as well. They haven't finished that as yet, but that's now going to cause us a little bit of a delay with pouring, but we'll be able to pour everything at the same time. So that will end up being completely flush from here all the way across, he says, over that way. So fingers crossed they can have a bit more of a clearer plan tomorrow and follow that plan. Anyway, day 83 over. Take care.